I'm Adam Hack. Now I'm back. I know, it's been a while. So, let's talk about the old Blindmaro here. It just keeps getting better and better. We worked on it a little bit over the winter. Started driving it very late spring, early summer, and like everybody else in the world right now, I'm waiting on parts. So, the car is mobile, but let's look at the newest upgrades. So the big one here and the elephant in the room is the new 4-inch cowl induction hood. This hood is from VFN fiberglass, and I had to wait 14 weeks for it, 13, 14 weeks for it after I ordered it, and that part of it kind of sucked, but it is what it is. And we just slapped it down there, me and Garrett, and the fitment, like, I'm not complaining. Like, I've heard horror stories about aftermarket fiberglass hoods. This VFN hood, for just putting it on here, fits very well. We're gonna slot the holes in the hinges to give us a little bit of more adjustment so we can bring the whole thing forward, because you can see right here this gap's kind of ugly, and this is going to be adjusted. You know, it's kind of sitting up high a little bit right here. This gap right here used to be really ugly, and Garrett, and by really ugly, it used to be down, and it needs to come up more, but the hood could also go down some, so we can play with it. Garrett, he was like, oh shit, this spot underneath here was not mounted to the core support, so he fixed that. And well, he seen it and then got a bolt and fixed it. This gap right here, same deal. I mean, I can put my fingers in there. It's a pretty ugly gap, but we're working on it. It needs to be fitted. Need to spend a little bit of time with it. But yeah, I think this hood's beautiful. I think it fit beautiful for just being out of the box. Look, these cars weren't straight from the factory, so you can't expect anything to just go on there 100%. The one kicker is you can see the wiper blade. There's no wiper blade right now. The ones that were on the car were from when I got it, and they kind of set up high and they were hitting right here. And to be honest, I'm not too sure they weren't hitting the old hood when they would deploy or come out, and because they'd always just like pop out. Underneath the cowl here, there's like a brace. I don't know if you can see down in there. Yeah, you can kind of see it, but we'll have to trim a little bit of this brace out so we can fit the wiper blade. Not a huge deal, is what it is. On the inside of the car, I have Corbeau A4 seats now. I don't know if I had spoken about that before. These are in suede. They didn't have cloth, so they gave me a deal on the suede. I love these seats. They're comfortable. They're like a suspension seat, so they kind of take care of some of the little harsh bumps that you would normally feel. The only kicker is, like, I'm 230 pounds and they're a little tight. The driver's seat has worn in, or it's pretty good now, but if I did it all over again, I'd probably get the wide version of it. They're an inch wider, and that'd probably be pretty good. But right here, not complaining. Let's take a look under the hood and see some of the other stuff we've done. Okay, so as you can see, the old motor's still in the car. I'm waiting on parts. I thought I had all my ducks in a row, did my due diligence, and you know, there was some stuff I missed or was misinformed on. You go to an engine shop and they'll get you straightened up. So basically, I'm waiting on custom titanium intake valves. Those Del West valves were a no-go. The stems on them, the coating was too coarse, and basically the guy's named Scott. He's like, I can put it together for you, but you might drop a valve within an hour of runtime. And I'm like, so I was like, you don't have to like preach to me. And basically what's going on is the LS9 and the LS7 had valve dropping issues from the factory, and there's 3 companies pointing fingers at each other: Del West, K-Tech, and GM. And I always thought it was bad valve guides, and that's not the case from my new better understanding. And so yeah, I was basically told either buy new intake valves or risk dropping a valve. And I think Scott really has my program and my best interest in mind, so I took his advice. I'm gonna spend the $1,400 or whatever it is and get intake valves. Same deal, on back order. So everything that's in the machine shop, he has my shaft rocker system, which was a Brian Tooley and Texas Speed combo that me and Brad assembled. And obviously it has cylinder heads. He has the whole bottom end, which is Cali's Comstar, crank, rods, and Race Tech pistons. He has the block, and they have some of my other stuff, just like the studs and all that. Basically just waiting on the machine shop. The machine shop's waiting on parts. So anyway, got a new hood latch. The old one, I tried bolting the hood, but the hood wouldn't latch, and this thing was like bent, and I needed a new hood latch anyway because the damn hood would never pop open. So you had to like reach underneath there and pull the hood latch and pull up on the hood, and it was a huge hassle. This is way easier. Should have done that 8 years ago. Down here there is a this guy right here. That is the Bang Shift Billy. It was created by Bill Armstrong. It's an electronic clutch controller. We did not wire that up right away. We wired it up, and there's some bugs in the system. Part of it is because I use an iPhone, and the Apple version of the app has just been a huge pain in the ass for the guy. And the other part of this is like everybody's combination is different. What they're trying to do with it's different. And so yeah, the controller and the manifold are not slipping the clutch like it's intended to, but I'm working with Bill Armstrong. He's been awesome to work with, great customer service, and we're getting through it, and we're getting closer and closer each time. And I'd like to have this thing dialed in before I go to the track. When I go to the track, I want to set records. I don't want to sit there and be the guy that don't have their stuff together. The other thing we did over the winter is this is a Motion, let me make sure here. This is the Motion Raceworks manual brake kit for 2nd gen Camaro, Firebird, you know, 2nd gen F-body. Put a different line lock solenoid hidden back there, and the proportioning valve is hidden back there. And then we put a 2-pound residual valve for the front disc brakes. And so the Motion Raceworks manual brake kit, it works well. I think it was engineered well. The master cylinder's nice. It doesn't leak like all the manualbrake.com master cylinders do. But that thing turned into a huge pain in the ass because they used like custom hardware. You can't just go to Ace and get hardware for it. And it's also stainless, and it's fine thread stainless. And with stainless threads, as soon as you tighten them up ever so slightly, they mar the threads up, and the stuff don't come apart. So you get the cutoff wheel out and you cut the shit apart. So we mocked everything up and, you know, just ever so slightly snugged it, and that was enough to booger the threads up. Wouldn't come apart. 2 hours at Ace Hardware and $40 in hardware later, we found some like chrome Allen headed bolts that would work, that were fine thread. And yeah, it really turned into a nightmare. And I actually called him and talked to him about like the issues that I had going on, and they were cool. So hopefully they, you know, take what I said and you know, work on this kit a little bit. This the plate behind here, I don't know if it'll be visible in the camera or not, but it's a like built aluminum plate. It's threaded, and they didn't chamfer the edges or anything. So trying to get the bolt started was huge pain in the ass. It took like 4 hours. Both of us struggling, cussing, not very happy, but we got it done. Yeah, that sucked. There's no good way to put it, or polite way to put it. Oh, and then when we finally got everything back together, the master cylinder wouldn't fit. So we got it together, went to slide the master cylinder over the 2 studs that are sticking out, and it wouldn't fit. So we had to get a die grinder out and die grind the freaking master cylinder to make it fit. And then, yeah, that was the nail in the hole right there, the final nail in the coffin, as to why I called them, and I was like, you guys need to work on this, because they advertise themselves as making better race car parts and nicer stuff, and I think that's true. I have other Motion Racework parts that are not on the car yet, but everything is like super nice. There's no like flaws in the finish or anything, and it just seems to fit well, or fit together very well. But this kit needed work, so you know, give them praise where praise is due. But also, I think, you know, if you have to struggle with something, you should be able to talk about it. The other thing that I didn't like about the kit is rear brake line in a factory drum brake car. This car still has drum brakes on the back. Is a 1/4 inch line, and so this fitting right here that goes into the master cylinder for a 1/4 inch line didn't come with it. On the manualbrakes.com kit, it comes with it. It came with 2 of these fittings for the smaller, which I believe is 3/16 line. Don't quote me on that. But the smaller line for disc brakes comes with 2 of these fittings. Doesn't come with this fitting. And I told them this kit should come with this fitting because we used some oddball sized flare nuts to go into the master cylinder and not use these fittings. And my fault. They're stainless aluminum threads, and yeah, I destroyed the threads in the master cylinder, so I had to get on Strange and order a new master cylinder. So between the hardware and me screwing up the master cylinder, I bought the brake kit twice. Not proud of it, but it is what it is. And yeah, so wasn't super impressed with that. Called them, told them everything I had going on, and I hope, you know, Motion or now TBM Brakes you know, does work on that and improves it. That being said, I'd still buy TBM brakes, you know, especially put on the back of this car and whatnot. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Oh, that little air filter, that's gonna go now that I got room for activities. Oop, let me point that camera. Now that I got room for activities and my studs for my air cleaner showed up, I'm gonna put the bigger air cleaner on there, because that thing's costing me horsepower and I can't have that. And my old hood, I took the scoop off because the scoop just bolts to the top. So I had the air cleaner sticking through the hood, through a hole. Looked kind of hillbilly. But anyway, let's go for a drive and show you what else is going on. So this is about eye level, and that's like the closest POV to show you all what I'm, you know, looking at driving down the road with this, you know, cowl hood on now. I can see where some people would think it's too tall, but I got a long torso, so my head's up in the air. So I honestly don't think it's that bad. But yeah, just figured I'd show you that. Alright, so let's get rolling. You might hear this thing pop and snap and break up a little bit because the plugs do get a little bit dirty on this thing. And I had driven it behind the house to wash it. So when I do that, they get a little bit fouled up on me, and then it breaks up a little bit. Latch is the brand. And Brad, my buddy Millhouse, he is going to help me install those. Need another set of eyeballs, a better set of eyeballs than what I got. Mufflers and pipes, tunnel fit X-pipe, but for anything in the future, that is going to be my go-to exhaust system. The pipes, tunnel fit X-pipe, or just an X-pipe, and the Dynamax ultra flow mufflers, because they don't hurt horsepower and they sound awesome, and it's quiet still. Like, but when you get on them, you know, when you're on it, it's screaming. But when you're just cruising, it's comfortable. You can listen to the radio and have a conversation with somebody. Really not a bad deal. The other upgrades that we're making is with the new motor is I bought a Holley Terminator X kit. Gauges look better than a digital dash. I wanted to just run a Holley 12.6 inch or whatever, the 12 inch Big Dog Pro Dash, but that would not fit in between like the steering column and the top of my dash and all that. So unfortunately I couldn't make that happen, but I think this is going to be a cool substitute. I'm pretty excited. The intake I got is that split manifold carburetor intake. It has the spots for 8 injectors, and then the throttle body I got is the Holley throttle body, and it's actually the same one they run in NASCAR Cup Series. So I thought that was pretty cool. That, you know, it's what NASCAR uses. So I'm hoping this motor will be super snappy. Carburetor spacer, and they were on sale. I got 2 of them. I got a 1/2 inch super sucker and then a 1/2 inch open spacer, and that's to insulate my carburetor from like heat. But I also bought the full 1 inch super sucker, and I think the 1 inch super sucker does a better job. It seems to be more snappy, and it honestly seems like it feels a little bit better in the seat of the pants. But I don't want to worry about having fuel boil in the carburetor and all that stuff, so I tried to insulate it a little bit. During the State Street cruise last summer, I had issues with the carburetor getting hot, and it was like idling high at like 1800 RPMs and stuff, and it was giving some oddball things. this. The people at home watching and subscribing are the people that really make this possible and make it happen. So if you'd like to see that, you know, please subscribe. As far as automatic go, wow, they added on a lot there. Holy crap. The transmission would be maybe, to do it cheap to start with, a turbo 350, which is honestly, you know, a good transmission. Garrett and his dad both run turbo 350s, and his brother, and they hold a lot of power. Garrett, he's comfortable with turbo 350s, and I think he's pretty good at building them. Can we turn in here? This is a nice wide area to turn into. You hear the cow tracks in the back, they creak a little bit. Turbo 350 maybe to start with, and then you know, to go a little bit more big dog down the road, I was thinking a turbo 400, and then for, gosh damn it, super water bottle, and then for drivability, and because I still want to drive it on the street, it would be a like put a gear benders on the back of a turbo 400, or even do a 4L80E transmission, which would be like something you would find in a 3/4 ton pickup. The 4L80 is like a more, I guess it's kind of like the replacement for the turbo 400. You know, supposedly they hold a bunch of power, even in stock form. So I don't know, kind of up in the air with the transmission part of it. The motor combo would either be this motor, or I would get a 5.3 and put all of my stuff in a hotter cam in it. And the reason I say a 5.3 is that the Gen 4 block is so much stronger than the stock LS1, or you know, the original LS1 block. They really vastly improved the Gen 4 block. And you know, if I decide I want to get kind of wild and throw a turbo or some nitrous or something at it, I wouldn't be as worried about breaking a block. I got a trailer like parked halfway on the road here. Okay. So yeah, Blindmaro just keeps getting better. The carburetor tune-up is like pretty damn good. This carburetor tune-up is 100 times better than most hot rods running around. You know, it's still a carburetor, but it's good. This thing, it starts up, especially after it's ran for one time per day. After that, there's no pumping the gas. You hit the key and it just fires up. I mean, it's good. Garrett really dialed this thing in, and I'm pretty happy with it. In the past, I wasn't happy with it, but I'm now happy with it. I've only had to clean plugs one time this year. The vacuum advance added a big part of it. I think part of the reason the reason we had such a hard time with the tune-up is because of the no vacuum secondary. I mean, not vacuum secondary, vacuum advance. And the other problem is like the stupid dual plane intake. I wish I would have just bought a single plane intake. Dual plane intakes seem to be a little bit more temperamental as far as tune-up goes. And yeah, if I would do it all over again, I would definitely just buy a single plane intake. If this motor goes into another car, it's going to get a single plane. Super Sucker really made this thing responsive. It really woke this motor up, and I'm extremely happy with that. So yeah, we're boots, man. Turning under 2 grand, going 50 miles an hour. Yeah, back to the GBody thing. That car I'd probably set up. I would not put like nice, expensive, comfortable seats in it. I'd put Kirkies in it to start with. It'd be set up more race car like. I wouldn't put like a full stainless exhaust on it like I did with this car. It would just get mild steel because it's gonna, you know, it's load up, it's cheaper, but also it's you know, gonna be subject to change more. As mufflers go, I might not put, you know, Dynamax Ultraflow mufflers on it. I might put Dynamax race bullets on, like Garrett's car currently has. But who knows? I kind of now that I'm a little older, I kind of like the sleeper. Like, you know, it's quiet, it's comfortable. You don't piss the entire neighborhood off, but it also has, you know, major ass whooping potential. I kind of like that. So that's subject to change. And then in the future, as far as power adders go, you know, one, I'd have to get with the program a little bit, talk to more people in the industry. But I love blower cars. Blower motors are what get me excited. And for this car and the future more, you know, race-oriented car, I would love to put a 4.5 liter Whipple supercharger on top. And if I ever went like pro modified drag racing, pro mod racing, I would definitely want to put like a big old twin screw. You know, nitrous, it doesn't really do anything for me because it's not always there. Turbo cars, everybody knows they make huge power, but I really don't like the idea of having to sit there on the line, bumping it. Now you're in, let go of the trans button, and like me, what gets me excited is hearing that blower surge. That wow, like I love blower surge. I like how all the power is right there. All right, so the camera overheated on me as I pulled in here, so I had to fire it back up. But yeah, it's carburetor tune-up. Like, I'm so much happier with this car. We're really making improvements to it. The only thing I think of that would like really make it like stand out is some air conditioning, because it gets freaking hot. But I don't know. That's a wish list item. That's not a must-have item. So yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. That really helps me out. And yeah, I'm not a rich kid. I work a normal job. I make food products out of soybeans on midnight shift. You know, I'm the average day guy who happens to have a unique story that, you know, wants to go real fast. So please like, comment, subscribe. And also, I made t-shirts with kind of like my thing on it, and then on the back I'll put a picture of like what the back looks like. A friend of mine, his name's Tyler, he made them. Liller Graphics on Facebook, Liller Graphics on Facebook. If you need anything, stickers or anything like that made, check him out. He's pretty talented. Camera's overheating on me again. Anyway though, Tyler, he's the one that did the Blindmaro sticker on the back, the Frederick Motorsports Engineering decal for me like a long time ago. It's kind of like, I asked him to base this off of that, because I really liked that. I thought that turned out pretty slick. And then, so yeah, he made the Blindmaro, the FME, the LSX, and then he made these shirts for me and designed these logos. He's, again, very talented person. You know, happy to just be able to call him a friend. So, if you need anything like that made, check him out. Thanks again. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you soon.